I'm Toria Driver.
And I am Katina Horton. Welcome to Heart Podcast.
Heart to Heart is a platform that confronts grief. It's a candid and biblical couch conversation on navigating grief and loss, vulnerability, authenticity, and grace, love, truth, and compassion, so we can take the necessary steps to move forward, to give voice to our pain and stories and heal.
It's hard to grieve what hasn't happened yet because a lot of times as Christians, people will tell you, other Christians, other believers will say that we should just be happy because that person is going to be with Jesus. So it kind of makes it difficult sometimes to grieve what's going to happen, what we know that's going to happen, because we start having mixed feelings because they're telling us that we shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Christians sometimes can be, not every Christian, I'm
Right,
not going to say
right,
that, and not
right,
every time, I'm
right,
not going to
right.
say that. But sometimes you can get someone who's like, you know what, it's better for her, or, she won't be in any more pain, or that, I don't know how much that, it can give you some relief or some comfort.
Right.
But still, the thing is that I'm still hurting because this thing is happening.
Right, you're human.
So
we're human.
Yeah, so there's still grief. There's still.
Yep, we got that human side of us because we're not God, and like you said, we're still in pain, we're still hurting. And, I've even had, like recently I had a conversation with somebody, they said, oh, you're a pessimist. And I said, no. I said, if you ask anybody about me, they would not say I'm a pessimist. I said, however, what I'm telling you is just, I'm letting you know what may or may not happen. This could happen, right? And that's the best case scenario. But what I'm also doing is preparing you for the worst case scenario, because then I don't want you to be like, oh, I can't believe that, because I didn't warn you that this could happen, right? So case in point, and this might seem like something simple, but anticipatory grief is not always about big things. A lot of times they are. Sometimes, like you said, it's just every day, the small little things every day that we take for granted where there's anticipatory grief involved. So I was waiting.
The big thing.
Right, or the big thing that just shatters, because that's a major thing. You're talking about like with your mom, that's major. You see what I'm saying? That's a major thing, and if we're the type where we only want to hear the good things, then it prevents us from healing and being able to actually feel all of the joy and all of the pain. We got to be able to sit in both.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if we can't sit in the duality of both of them, then it presents a problem. So this is a simple situation, but I'm going to give you an example. So when I was working at the grocery store, I was waiting on a customer, and she had quite a bit of coupons, plus she wanted to use her special coupon that was like, it was either $5 or $10 off. I don't remember which one she had, because depending on how much you spend determined whether it was going to be $5 or $10 off, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But she had a lot of other manufactured coupons. So what I told her is, Miss, I want to just let you know, since you have all these other coupons, when the balance starts going down, the system might actually want it where it's just without the other coupons to give you the 5 or 10 off.
Right.
You don't know.
Use them all together.
Right. It might, it might not go the way you're thinking, but I just want to prepare you for it. I'm not saying that it will or it won't. I've seen it happen to a lot of customers, and they've gotten mad. It's nothing we can do with the system. So then I guess she didn't believe me, and then I could tell a little racism had got involved in it. So I was thinking, okay, I guess this is where we're at now. I kept my composure. I was not going to get in the mud with her. So as I'm saying, I understand all of that, ma'am. Everything she kept saying to refute. What I'm telling you is that this might happen. But she didn't want that grief of it possibly not going the way that she wanted. Thank God it did. Well, right before I finally finished ringing it up, and like I said, because I'd seen it happen to hundreds of customers before, I guess her last thing to gain power over the situation and not think about the fact that the outcome might not be what she wanted, she told me, I have a degree in engineering. And I stood there and I was just like, oh, wow, so this is what it has come to? I'm giving you factual information of what might happen to the system, but it went to the next level with her saying she had a degree in engineering. I'm just trying to prepare her for what might come, what might be up ahead. And like I said, thankfully, it didn't happen, but I saw it happen to hundreds of other customers.
Right.
But a lot of times we can get so caught on what we want the outcome to be.
Right, yeah. And what we want the outcome to be. Yeah.
And not what God has already set and willed it for it to be.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think that's probably like the hardest thing, the hardest part, the concept of anticipatory grief is controlling that outcome, not wanting to face that outcome, not wanting to sit in a duality that, okay, I just turned in my resignation and, okay, possibility of, not possibility, turned it in, and then in 2 weeks, it's over. Like wanted to live in la la land, like, okay, this is going to keep going. No, the reality is you're still working.
Right.
And the other part of duality is in 2 weeks, that's your last day.
Yeah, and it'll be done.
Right, exactly, just like you said it. It's just going to be just that quick. They said it's, as the name suggests, anticipatory grief is a complex emotional process that occurs before an expected loss.
Okay.
And they said loss can refer to anything from an impending breakup or divorce, we just said that, didn't we, Holy Spirit, to progression of a terminal illness or the loss of a loved one, for example. Anticipatory grief is also an extremely individualized emotional process, says Jennifer Dragonet, psychiatrist. People often believe they're grieving wrong or grieving too long. But it's important to make space for whatever emotions arise during the process of grieving and allowing yourself to feel them. And this could look like talking about your feelings, leaning on a trusted friend, and letting yourself cry to process the grief. And they said anticipatory grief, it takes many forms, signs and symptoms depending on the situation. So if you're feeling a bit lost or discouraged, you're not alone. They say, the psychologists say, to break down everything you need to know about anticipatory grief, and the signs, the symptoms, and when to seek help. And then lastly, process of mourning and experiencing emotions associated with loss. And it often occurs when individuals are aware that they or someone they care about is facing a significant loss, such as an impending death or a major life change. And it just goes on further to talk about what we just said with the example I gave that they do on TV a lot and for real life when somebody has terminal illness. It can last for weeks, months, or even years before that actual loss occurs.
So what's coming to mind for me is a way that different people, different personalities, people with different, even characteristics can handle this particular thing a little bit different. One person may want to just like, I know we're about to break up, so let's just go ahead and get it over with, and others would be like, I don't want to talk to you, let's not talk about it, and kind of push back.
Right.
And so and neither way is wrong. It's just how that particular person may want to or choose to, or what feels, I don't want to say comfortable, but how they want to deal with, that anticipatory grief.
That is so true. Like you said, it goes according to how we're wired up.